Hi, this is Rabbi Orlofsky, and welcome to the Parsha in 5, where in 5 minutes we give you an insight into the Parsha. Parsha's Ve'era. So we get down to business, and we have 7 of the Makos. The first 7 are in this Parsha, the next 3 are next week. The dam 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 tzvadeya, the dam 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 kinim, the dam 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 oh rov. It goes on, but anyway, I'm going to take the third one, kinim, because Moshe and Aaron turned the water into blood, and the chartumim are also able to turn water into blood, and Moshe and Aaron summon the frogs from out of the river, and the chartumim are also able to summon the frogs out of the river. And then Moshe says to Aaron, watch this trick. Hit the sand, and the sand turns into lice, and the lice get all over them and start eating them up. And the chartumim try this trick too, and it does not work. Says Perek Ches Pasuk Yud Daled, V'yasu chen achartumim b'lotehem lahotzi es hakinim. They tried with their magic to bring out the lice. V'lo yocholu, they couldn't do it. V'tehi hakinim ba'adam b'behema. V'yomru achartumim el paro etzba Elohim hi. This is the finger of God. Okay, he didn't listen. But the magicians, the sorcerers, they said, listen, this is the finger of God. So at that point, there's nothing left to say. We know now that this is not magic. We know that there are miracles. So how come we ever find the chartumim again? But we do. We find them in other makos still playing. At this point, Paro should say, well, I'm done. This is clearly not magic, because magic doesn't work on, as Rashi says, anything smaller than a barley corn. So the fact that you were able to produce lice can't possibly be because of black magic. So how do we explain this? So you'll notice the use of the word. When Moshe comes to Paro, he keeps saying Hashem. Yeah? He says, Hashem has sent me. V'acher bo Moshe v'Aaron v'yomer el Paro ka'ama Hashem Yud Kei Vav Kei Elokei Yisrael shlach es hami v'yavduni. And Paro responds, V'yomer Paro, mi Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei, Asher Eshra B'kolo l'shaleach es Yisrael, Lo yodati es Hashem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. He did not recognize Hashem, the God of Israel. And in fact, the Medrash says he pulled out a directory, a God directory. And he's reading through the different gods, and he says, I'm sorry, I don't see Yud Kei Vav Kei here anywhere. And Moshe says, that's because you're looking for someone who's alive in a cemetery. Yeah, God's a living God. He's not like, oh, your gods that are dead. So the whole time, Moshe is saying to Paro, Va'amarta elav Hashem Elokei Ivrim shalachani elecha lemo shlach es mi v'yavduni b'midbar. Yeah, and if not, this makkah will come, that makkah will come. But the whole time it's Yud Kei Vav Kei. But when they can't replicate the lice, they don't say Etzba Yud Kei Vav Kei. This is the finger of Hashem. They say this is the finger of Elohim. Now, what does that mean? So the Mefarshim explain that even among Ovdei Avodah Zarah, they recognized Elohim. There was a master God who brought the world into existence, and then he turned over the running of the world to a pantheon of gods. But the pantheon of gods were under no illusion that they created the world, or for that matter, that they created themselves. Right? They are distinctly, human. They get married, they have children, there's half gods, demigods. I mean, they're pretty clear as to what their positions are. So what's the idea of an Elohim? Elohim created the world and created everything else. And then the gods run it. So when the lice suddenly appeared, they said, this is not black magic. This is Etzba Elohim, not Hashem, the master God who works the universe. Because the minor gods can't do this. The master God who runs the universe somehow decided to turn the dust into lice. And Moshe and Aaron want to take credit for it. Why? Because Kinneret was the first makkah where there was no hasra. There was no warning. And because of that, they can say, oh, Moshe and Aaron didn't predict this. Every third makkah, there was no warning. Because I'm warning you once, I'm warning you twice, third time, bam. I don't have to warn you. And then I'll warn you once, I'll warn you twice, third time, bam. So there was no warning here. So he says, I can't explain why Elohim decided to do this, but has nothing to do with Moshe and Aaron. This is not Hashem. Because such is the power that when people do not want to accept the reality or to believe, there's always an opportunity to disbelieve. Dr. Gerald Schroeder, who has 2 PhDs, one in physics and one in oceanography, he was talking about all the theories in cosmology and evolution. And he made a statement that was very profound. He said, you can still be an atheist today, but it takes a lot of faith. And so anyone who wants to disbelieve always will have that opportunity. But we, Baruch Hashem, Ma'aminim b'nei Ma'aminim, see what takes place in the Bria and see the nisim that Hashem does, and that gives us our sense of Emunah. Shabbos.